When's the last time you guys went to the movies?
I was trying to think about, what kind of small talk to have. That was the best thing I could come up with.
What's the best summer drink?
So, dude, tonight, Steven has done some real experimentation with the beer of choice. And I didn't even get to sign off on like a consent form to be a part of this trial.
Damn.
But yeah, just a human subject partaking in this, man, and it's rough out here, bro.
It's not that bad. All right, before we got the mics on, he's turning on me here. He's turning on me here before we turn the mics on. It's like what was it? It's mandarin and mango. It's a mandarin and mango ale, but it tastes like
mandarin,
like a orange, like mandarin orange.
Oh,
but it tastes like a shanty, like a Leinenkugel, you know?
Oh,
it tastes like a shanty. Like at first we thought it was gonna be like a beer, so we drink it and we're like, nah, this isn't it. And then like, oh, it's like this. Yeah, all right, it's not bad. It's a summer drink, baby. It's a summer drink.
It has been a summer drink. Yeah, it at first it felt like they got the balance of seltzer and flavor completely wrong, but after a few sips, I started to enjoy it.
Yeah, send me the brand name so I can do a taste test at home. I'll do a live recording of my reaction.
I think we should just get started. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another District Gooner Pod. I'm KP. Hope you had a nice week. Wishing you a even better weekend. Finals weekend. Home stretch of tourney season. And here to chat about it all with me is my co-host, Steven. Say hi to the people, dude.
Howdy. We back with another one on a Friday evening, actually. So we're going to get this on a Saturday before the good old final. Both finals on Sunday. We got Copa and the Euro. So it's shaping up to be a good weekend if you're a football fan. I got a question for you here. We have Ron Reyes on. Got a question for you though. Who is taller, Rudy Gobert or Victor Wembanyama? What is it? Wembanyama?
Wembanyama, yeah. I think Victor Wembanyama is taller, right? Isn't he 7'6"?
He's 7'4", and Rudy Gobert is 7'1". Crazy. I got a picture from this Team France for playing basketball together, and Victor is like crouched down a little bit, so Rudy looks bigger than him. It's like, holy shit, this dude's like 3 inches bigger.
Yeah, he's huge, man, and the fact that he can even move like that is insane. Also, have you seen the videos of like the team pictures for Team USA?
No, I haven't.
Because Kevin Durant is seen like standing next to like Bam Adebayo and Joel Embiid, and this man looks taller than both of them. It's freaking nuts. Like, it's actually crazy how big Victor and Kevin are, and can still move like they move. Like, it's insane.
Are these photos for the Olympics?
Yeah, for the Olympics in July, late July.
Who is on the U.S. team for the Olympics?
You got like Steph. You've got Joel Embiid decided not to rep his country. Decided to
Cameroon,
rep the U.S.
I think there's LeBron. Kawhi stepped out, so it's like Derek White. I'm already running out of names. I don't.
Booker, Durant. Is
Drew Holiday
Dame on there?
Drew Holiday,
you're right.
Definitely on there.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay,
he's playing the 4. Who else playing the 4?
I guess I gotta look.
That's got to be a gold medal, right?
I think that.
Oh, Anthony Edwards is there. Anthony Edwards.
I think it's one of those things where like LeBron and Steph are playing. Like it's It almost has to be in my mind. It has to be.
Let me tell you, if the USA get anything less than a gold medal, it will be a disgrace.
Stephen A. Smith on the mic.
It's gotta be, dude. I mean, you think about the expectations going into Copa for the U.S. and you compare that to the expectations of U.S. men's national team for basketball. We're winning it all. I don't care what it is. FIBA, Olympics. I guess that's why they do call themselves the world champions, huh?
Yeah, for like MLB and the NBA, yeah. It's nuts. Speaking of the NBA championship winner, Jaylen Brown wasn't too happy about being left off the USA squad.
I was surprised you didn't name him. I was wondering how many people from the Celtics are involved in the Olympics team.
So yeah,
Jason Tatum is there.
Derek White went instead of him. It was like Kawhi Leonard dropped out for what, I don't know why, but he dropped out. So they added
Injury.
And I think Derek White was chosen, right? Instead of Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I think the rationale was that they're just different players completely. Like, they don't need another shot creator. They have all the best shot creators in the USA in the first place, and Jaylen Brown just is not one of the best shot creators like in the world.
The player we missed was Ant Edwards, man. The dog.
He is a dog.
I think he might.
Michael Jordan Jr.
I think he might be that guy. Anthony Edwards from Minnesota. We didn't name him.
He wasn't called up?
No, he was. We just didn't name drop him.
Oh, okay.
In the roster, but like we
That's
should have
exciting.
named.
I did.
Oh, you did. We should have name dropped him. Okay, I didn't. I didn't even think about him. We should have name dropped him because I think he might be that guy this tournament.
That's exciting. All right, let's chat some football, shall we? You might hear my dog in the background there. She's feeling missed out, so just let her be all right. She's got some separation issues. We're working on it. Let's see. The semifinals took place for the Euros and Copa. We'll chat about that today. We'll also round out some Arsenal transfer news that has been picking up over the last week. Okay, wow, my dog is really picking up. Let me just see what's up. Right, so the semifinals took place. I guess let's start out with the elephant in the room. Ron, when is it the right time to apologize to Gareth Southgate?
I will never apologize to Gareth Southgate. And the reason why I won't apologize to this man is because he was incorrect many of those times. We were asking for changes, right? Steven has been calling for Ollie Watkins since the beginning of the tournament for England. And so, yes, I think it takes courage to change up what he needed to change up, and he has done that. And that's good, and I'll give him credit for that. But I'm not going to say sorry for calling out what was clearly some pretty bad decisions kind of early on in this tournament. So good for him for turning it around, but you have to get it wrong first in order to turn it around for the better.
So the game started out, and I have to be honest with you, I really thought Netherlands 3-0 is on the cards, dude. They scored, I think, under 10 minutes. They felt like they were totally in control as best as they could. You know, they're playing against Shoehorse FC, doing the best they can.
Shoehorse?
Yeah, dude, it's like all England do. Or is it Horseshoe? Horseshoe FC. Sorry.
Okay.
Horseshoe.
I got the word backwards.
I knew what you were saying. I knew what you were saying there.
Dude, I'm telling you, Horseshoe FC, bro. If you're unfamiliar, look up Horseshoe Tactic and you'll learn all about
England
it, dude.
would be in that, yeah.
That's all England were doing, bro. That's all they've been doing all tournament. That's all that they're capable of, it feels like. And yeah, I mean, I had 3-0. I felt good about it. And then there was the penalty. I'll be honest with you. On the pod, right now, I'll say it, dude. Without that penalty, I think England lose that game.
I don't doubt that. And I think that's where we start. It's like, is that a penalty? Like, in your opinion, I personally do think it's a penalty because Dumfries studs are showing into it. So, like, I totally get ref on the field, no penalty, right? They played on. Like, I totally get that, right? Like, in most circumstances, if a guy kicks after the ball's gone, it's not a penalty. But, like, VAR sees Dumfries studs going into it, like, yeah, it's a pen for me. But it was controversial, right? I saw a lot of opinions both ways. So what do you guys think?
I feel like there's like a real philosophical issue of it, right? Because there's no question that Dumfries made contact with Harry, or maybe did Harry make contact with Dumfries on the follow through, right? So there's the question of whether Dumfries would make any contact if Harry doesn't extend his leg like he does. I think it's a pen too. I've seen a lot of English fans actually specifically say that it was not a pen and that they felt bad for the Netherlands. So it's interesting to see that because it looked like anywhere else on the pitch, I feel like that's a foul. And so if it's anywhere else on the pitch, it also has to be a foul in the box for me.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. For me, not a penalty. I just felt like I hear you on the studs argument, but at the same time, I think he still got a pretty good shot off. The studs didn't affect his shot, is how I say it, the way his technique went through. And it was still pretty close to being on target, to maybe even being a goal. It's disappointing that in this tournament it just has felt like the refs are letting things go. And now suddenly, in a semi-final, the magnitude of the game, I feel like it's just kind of escaped the officiating a little bit. And yeah, I go back to in seeing it live, the ref didn't feel like it was a big deal. So I don't feel like it was a penalty based on that. Also, have you seen the extended cut of the VAR where it looks like it hits Saka's hand?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point because that's back to the Belgium game. A lot of people have referenced that. Yes, a lot of people have referenced that. Like they use the technology to be like, there was a touch on the ball.
What Belgium game? What are you talking about?
It was Belgium. Do you remember who they were playing, Ron?
I don't remember. It was like Slovenia or Slovakia.
It was
maybe?
Lukaku scored the goal, but his name was Openda on the left wing, touched the ball, and they caught it on like whatever the new technology is in the ball. There was like a touch on it, and they were able to use the technology, but he touched the ball, crossed it in, Lukaku scored. So, same situation. Saka did touch the ball, right? Like, it did come off his hand, like, you can see it. But, like, why not use the technology there? Isn't it basically the same thing?
And if you're reviewing a course of action, it just feels like there's a little bit of oversight. I think it's just, like, human error.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that is 100%. Maybe it was a slider of a touch, but, like, you've made the assessment. You're showing it on slow-mo that, like, yes, this guy touched the ball, so we're saying he affected the goal. It's like, is it not the same thing then? We're slowing it down to this motion where Saka does touch the ball. It's like, that's the state of the game these days, bro. Like, that's just the state of it. And that's kind of...
So much to interpretation.
Yeah, one hand it sucks. Like, obviously it's great for, like, offsides, and there's some obvious things that, like, yeah, it's great for, but, like, that's also a downside of it.
My argument is that I think that people would call it differently anyway, right? Like that each referee between games and whatnot, regardless of VAR, would call it differently anyway. So I guess in this situation, yeah, it wouldn't be a pen, but you know, if another ref, the person that was the VAR at that point was the center ref, does he call that in real time?
But that goes back to the original penalty. Like we're saying, maybe a ref doesn't say it's a penalty, even though the guy's showing his studs and like going through. To Keon's point, like, maybe it's just not. Versus us being like, well, it is. Because on slow-mo, this guy's studs are showing. But it's almost like the same argument in a different situation.
Yeah, it's interesting. But look, ultimately, it made for a great first half. Ended 1-1. I've heard people say it was the best half England have played. And it just felt like to me they were switching the ball a little quicker.
I think that's a little harsh, dude. I feel like they actually were playing pretty well, and they created some chances moving forward. They looked like they were adventurous moving forward, which is not something that I feel like I've seen from the England squad. The second half, I agree with Horseshoe FC. Like, that completely makes sense to me. But the first half, I was like, wow, they're like gassed up for this. So I was encouraged for sure.
So let's throw in Xavi Simons, just this goal. What a player. I'd love to. If he was available, what a player. First of all, the first goal. Getting that goal early was the crucial point of the first half, right? England did play. Like, I agree with Ron. I thought they played. Like, they looked good, man. They were trying. They were going forward, adventurous. I thought they looked really good. Second half was an absolute dud. An absolute dud until, guess what? Big man Harry Kane, like, he comes off the field. So him and Phil come off the field. It's like his first, the announcer in the American feed is like, oh, Harry Kane coming off. It's the 80th minute, right? It's late. Like, but to what we've been talking about here is like, hey, like Kane, he should be off earlier. He's not affecting the game enough. I think that's our sentiment, right?
And look, it's a bold choice from him, to be fair, because he brings him on in the 80th minute, kind of saying, maybe we'll win it in regular time, right? He's taking out one of his best pen takers going into overtime, and who is also very reluctant to sub often. So is he listening? Is not necessarily to this podcast, but is he listening and is he delivering for people? So therefore, is it time to apologize? I still don't know. Is he just getting away with it?
Are you on that side? Like, legit? Are you on the manager's side?
That we should be apologizing?
I feel like he's kind of just worked out in his favor. It's almost like, you think about Mikel Arteta a little bit, and how sometimes injuries have forced him to
decisions,
make some changes. But beforehand, you could see those changes coming, or people were calling for it. But it took a injury or for him to be forced to make these changes. That this feels the same way. I do feel like there has to be something. It's back-to-back finals in the Euros for him, and maybe he's just very adept to tournament management and delivering, and maybe. Going back to some of my earlier thoughts of trying to give these managers the benefit of doubt of playing 4D chess, it does feel like maybe I'm just holding this Ollie Watkins ace for the semifinals to play. Honestly, I don't know. I do feel that way.
I feel like I don't agree with that, only because their backs have been against the wall multiple times in this tournament. And so, like, do you, as a manager, hold on to your ace in the hole when it's like you're in the 90th minute and you're already losing, like you're about to go out of the tournament, and then you put in Ivan Toney? Like, I don't know if that would be the logic if they were so close to being out of the tournament. And so I agree, he's turned it around and he's played really pragmatic and defensive, and Southgate has been known for being a defensive manager anyway. And so I think that does suit tournament style play. I don't think that anyone should be any less disappointed by how things had gone in the knockout stages in the first, or the group stages in the first two knockout games.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Steven had called it out on one of the other pods that if England were on the other side of the bracket, they would not be here today. So, but so much of it is also the luck of the draw. It's the same thing with the Champions League, right? It's like, I don't know. I'll tell you how I feel about the post-group advancement based on the draw. I can't really predict it beforehand.
Yeah, it is all about the draw. And like at this point, this is like, now the momentum's behind them, right? Like I feel like they do have a chance. Now they have a chance in that game. But this is very interesting. 2018 World Cup, they made the semis. The last Euros, 2021, they made the final. World Cup, they made the quarterfinals, which I think was kind of a disappointment for them. And now they're in the final again for the Euros. Like, that's a great run for him. I like to playing kind of like devil's advocate. Like, yeah, he's gotten the results. I think that an English fan, they see those results, they're like, yeah, we want that. We're one of the best teams. But I think he was forced into this move. Like, he was just absolutely forced into it. We've talked about like the media. I think he's like still scared to like make the move, like apprehensive. The fact that our commentator on American feed was like, oh, he's taking off Harry Kane here, like making it like a thing, like
huge deal.
Yeah, like, well, the guy hasn't performed. Like, I understand he made the pen in the first half, like good for him, and it was a great pen. But England have already proved we have 5 pen takers that can make it in a shootout without him. Like, we have penalty takers in the team, so like he doesn't need to be there now.
That's a good point.
If that's his only role is to take pens, we have other shooters. So I think he was forced into it. Ollie Watkins, like, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not trying to be like, oh, you said to Ollie Watkins, but like, this dude's a player. Like, that was perfect. He took one opportunity that's like a what chance from that angle, like a nothing into a goal. Incredible from him. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and I watched it back to it looks like he literally takes the shot at like 89 and 58 seconds, and it hits the back of the net like 89 and 59 seconds. It's very cool, and it's just really made me think, Ollie Watkins, is he the dream signing for Arsenal Football Club, dude?
I think a few summers ago, like that Brentford summer, maybe the first summer in Villa, there was like obviously stuff about that. He's an Arsenal fan. Yeah, that would have been perfect. That would have been awesome, but that ship has sailed. There is no way. Like, there is no way that would ever happen. That would be the ultimate signing. That'd be perfect for us. I think he'd fit in with our club so well, but that ship has sailed, man.
I think that's fair. Well, let's turn our attention to who England will be playing in the final. Spain, who faced off against France and did what they kind of do, bro.
That was a good performance. That was a good game. The second half was a little mudded up with what Spain do, so it wasn't as great. But that first half was tight. I mean, great first goal, second goal. I mean, shout out to the kid, man. 16. Like, that's big time thing. So big, I guess, big shout out to him. But the third goal, Danny Olmo, also, I mean,
chef's kiss.
Yes, yeah, me and Ron gave him a shout out last pod. He's looking good. Came on, looking hot. I mean, Spain did what they have to do. France did what I guess they've been doing all tournament. Like, they have no one else to blame but themselves. Like, they just didn't. They looked toothless in the second half. It wasn't there. Like, they just looked toothless. So they have no one else to blame but themselves. I mean, I think they could have had this game, but the youngsters, it's the youngster from Spain, man. They look good.
Did you watch that game, Ron?
Yeah, I did watch the match, and it was wonderful. A really, really great match. The first half was especially lit for me. And I mean, think about it. They were playing Jesus Navas at right back for a really long time. That dude's like 37.
Giving your city boy a shout out.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I mean, he looks like a pirate. He's a great guy, but I mean, he's just not the guy, right? Like, he's not who you'd think would start for
against Mbappe,
Spain. Sure, yeah,
tall ask,
and so the fact that they were able to do this, and they had Nacho at center back as well, instead of what's his name, Lenormand, the other center back, because he was on a ban for yellows, and as was Carvajal on a ban for yellows as well. Like, the fact that they were able to do this against a squad like France makes me feel like they're gonna roll in the final, and it's kind of crazy.
I will have to say, Ron, after the result, I start to think more about what you said about Deschamps and what I takes it down. After the game, I did think, yes, I'm down for that move now, because I cannot believe Rabiot started that game.
Ooh, it's a good shout.
Rabiot before the match was talking a little mess about or talking a little mess to Lamine Yamal. And he was like, we're going to make him as uncomfortable as possible. He hasn't really done that much at this stage, like that kind of thing. And then Rabiot was the one that Yamal crossed up before hitting that wonder strike. So what a nice little moment for the 16-year-old, as if it couldn't get any better.
Yeah, the little celebration at the end too, where he basically said like,
Oh, that's about him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't recognize that.
So not only did you just give him some, Yamal gave him some too. Yeah, I'd totally lean towards if Zidane was there, ready, the team is like primed for him, I think. They have so much already. They're a great team. There's obviously something wrong, toothless about it. Like the results in this tournament, how good are we defensively? Excellent. Top tier. Offensively, we are terrible, but we have one of the best players in the world on our team. I think that's an issue, right? Mbappe did miss a few chances though. I will say he did miss a few, but I mean, France, I'd be happy to move on as a fan.
Yeah, because it's not that they only have one of the best players in the world. They have two of the best players in the world. You're forgetting about big man in the back. the one they call Willow in the streets, dude. Ooh. Willow Saliba, what a tournament from him, dude. I think he's been the best defender in the Euros. I'll say it with my chest.
Great tournament from him. I think it's cool as an Arsenal fan. This is not something we've had as like a player that performs on the biggest stages in the summer.
We have 4 players in the final.
It's pretty cool. Like,
that's exciting for the Champions League, I think.
Yeah, it's like cool for us to have that player now. Player experiences multiple players. Like that's such a cool thing. I don't remember having this in the past, so that's part of the evolution, bro.
You have Raya, Ramsdale, Saka, and Rice.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So an Arsenal player wins the Euro either way, which is actually the position that City players are in as well, if you think about it.
Wah, wah.
But players that actually start for both teams. So that's pretty cool, too. Like both
That's
feature.
That's a good one. You gotta respect game. It's a footballing pod, dude. It's all about the fundamentals, bro. All right. Well, anything else we should chat about in the Euros? Well, I guess the big thing is England, Spain. What are your expectations?
Let me tell you what my heart and my head both say, because they're saying different things. My heart, first of all, is going with the team who I chose at the beginning of this tournament. It's coming home. Gary S. calling the shots. I still don't believe in him. Phil Foden's going to score one in the first half. On God. But my head, mainly my brain, is telling me that Spain is just too smooth, too good, too smart in the midfield. You saw the difference in the second half when the Netherlands started to pack the midfield. You saw that Foden and Bellingham and all the players in the middle really didn't have as much freedom as they did in the first. I think that Spain will pick up on that right away. I think Rodri will clog up a bunch of those holes right away. These wingers are so good, dude. They're so good for Spain. So my head has to choose Spain, but if I were to have to pick one, because I'm a man of my word, I'm thinking that it's coming home.
I think it's cool that at least one of us got a finalist, right? Because otherwise, why are you even listening to the podcast? So, proud of that. And shout out to you, Ron, for having a finalist. I do feel like Spain is going to win. Also really excited to see Nico Williams against Kyle Walker. That's been, I think, the biggest thing in the Euros is you see these players, you hear these links, and I always actually do try to pay attention when they're playing England. Because, like, these are the players they're going to be up against in the Premier League. And Like, how do they do against them usually? And like for Sesko, not great against England. There's been so many games that I've watched Sesko and I've thought, that guy's the fastest person on the pitch. But against England, I didn't feel that way. So I'm interested in seeing Nico Williams. I'm also interested in, and I'm just going to predict it right now, in the first half, watch out for one big tackle from Kieran Trippier on Yamal. He's about to tell him, I'm here. Welcome to the league, young man.
I love that shout. It's going to be big, man. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. I'm actually going to pull for England, and I'm all for the heart and the head. They're definitely telling me different things, but I'm pulling for England. Like, that's who I'm going for. And I'm going for them just based on the way that Spain play. I do like the way they, like, first half against France. I liked it. Second half, did the whole buddy the game up thing. I'm not into that. I don't like watching that.
Dude, they shut up shop, bro. They said 2-1, we're winning this game.
Yeah, they did. And I don't want to see that. And England don't play like that, because guess what they're going to do? If they go up, they're always going to give the other team another chance. Like, they're always going to give them a chance. They will always give them a chance. And you know what? I respect that. I'm going for England. I don't know about the whole it's coming home thing, but I'm pulling for them.
Come on, England. No, did you guys see the stat that in the last 6 matches that England have gone behind, like they've conceded the first goal, they've gone on to win 5 of them. And the 6th one was actually when they went to penalties against the Swiss, and they won that game technically anyway. So
and
they have some heart.
Is that not up to the mentality that the manager is setting for these players?
That goes back to exactly this game. Go down 1-0, and they just show up. They showed up. They showed out in the first half. They got their goal. They still pushed on the entire first half. They get into the locker room. Who knows what this man said, but all right, let's just lull about in the second half. Pass it side to side, slowly up the field. It's like, it's such a lame performance in the second half. Like, that's the story of these guys. Maybe they wait to go behind in the 46th minute, and then they end up showing up. Shutting up shop.
And in some ways you have to respect it. You really do. So do you have a score prediction? Let's maybe start with you, Ron.
Score prediction. We've been seeing a lot of 2-1s this tournament. I think I'm going to do another 2-1. I'm actually going to kind of further my point that Spain will actually score first, and England will win 2-1 in extra time.
Okay. For me, it's a 1-0. It's a 1-0 Spain game. I think they score in the first half. And then I'll just see you later, dude.
I like that. And I like that because I'm going the exact opposite way. I think England win it 1-0, and they absolutely steal this game. They steal it.
They just might. Let's recap some of this Copa America action, and I'll be totally honest with you. I didn't watch a single game in the semifinals. Canada-Argentina, that was a rematch. You already knew how that was going to play out. And Colombia-Uruguay, I checked the score, maybe around the 60th minute. I saw Colombia was winning 1-0. I saw they had a red card. And then I saw it was on FS1. And I just thought, I don't want to go get my computer to watch this. I'll find out about it later.
Dang. It be like that. It is crazy that the games in the US are on FS1 and all the Euros are on Fox. I think that shows where the viewership is at. But I watched the very end of the Canada-Argentina game, like just the very end of it. I mean, it was already 2-0 at that point, so didn't really want to watch it because, like you said, they already played. Argentina's looking top now. It's going to be a pointless game. I think shout out to Canada for keeping it 2-0. Like, good for them. It's respectable. It's a respectable, I guess, tournament for them. Semifinals, like, good for them.
And shout out to Jesse Marsh.
Jesse Marsh, bro.
I think it's his first international tournament.
This is his first international tournament. Should we go ahead and give the DGP exclusive Greg Berhalter out?
Let's go, dude. We had already planted that seed. It was coming. A lot of you knew that. Ron, say it with your chest, bro.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Greg. Or maybe do.
Don't let the door hit you with the load split you.
I almost went for that, but I was like, I'm not confident in my delivery of that. It's actually funny because I actually just saw on the timeline maybe like 30 minutes ago that Jesse Marsh was asked if he would ever coach the United States. And he said not unless there's a big shift in the U.S. Soccer Foundation. He said that there was a lot flawed with the organization, and I completely agree. Because let me tell you what's going to happen after Berhalter is fired. They threw in that big name out there already, Jurgen Klopp. Got everyone excited, everyone gassed. And you know who they're going to hire? They're going to hire some MLS coach or a former men's national team player. And it's going to be the most underwhelming stuff of my life.
Ooh.
Honestly, I really hope not. I'm glad you said fired. I don't want to see mutual agreement. You know, like, come on, dude. Don't give me that PR.
Yeah, I like that.
So we'll see, man. I don't know who the manager will be. I would really like Jesse Marsh. I love that he already came out and kind of set that boundary. I think that's great. That already gives him a lot of credit for me. And what you just heard was my dog jumping off the couch. But we'll see. I saw Jurgen turn it down pretty quickly. Have you seen any links?
The guy, I think the big name, like a big name, not the big name, because like Jurgen Klopp is like mentioned. I don't think that's going to happen. But like, I like that we're shooting for the stars. But I think an actual decent hire, I think his name's Hervé Renard. He's like he was a French women's coach. He coached the Saudi men's team, the team that beat Argentina in that game.
Sure.
Coached Morocco at one point. He's coached another African team that he's a coach that I think takes lesser teams and like makes them perform. Like that's his specialty, is like taking a team of just no expectations really, and like makes them perform to a level above their standards. And I think that's what we need. I don't care that everyone's saying we have good players. They haven't shown it. We're underperformers. Who's gonna put a fire in them, right? Kick them in the behind like, hey, you're nothing. So we're going to play this dirty style of ball. You guys don't know how to play. So we're going to play a nasty style of ball that gets wins, right? Gets the results. I think that's maybe what we need. We're not going to play cute ball because we're not good enough.
I love that you're calling out the players at the same time, because post-announcement, there was this little photo going around that Gio Reyna liked the announcement within 10 minutes. And to me, that just hints of petty and maybe privilege that is surrounding this national team. And I'd love to see someone come in who will set boundaries, set expectations, and play the best players ultimately on merit.
I think that's what Gio was. He didn't play in the World Cup, right? Yeah. I think that's like what he's had this issue with Berhalter. Like, I am one of the best players, but because we have a tiff between us, like there's an issue. You're not playing me. I should be on the field for this team, but you're not playing me. If that goes for him, I think the smaller decisions between players, like someone's just not making it because of yada yada reason. This guy's my boy. I'm sure it's evident across the squad. So, yeah, I think he did Gio Reyna wrong, but I think that goes into probably every other phase of his management. What did Greg Berhalter ever do to deserve to be the national team manager? I don't know. So whoever we hire next has to be an upgrade, 100%.
And mind you, he was rehired, right? They fired him, they didn't find what they needed on their search, and they rehired him. I think Marsh is right. The U.S. Soccer Foundation is, I think, not very good. They don't know what they're doing. And I feel like that's very, very evident from all of the hires over the last, 10 years? I don't even mind the Jurgen Klinsmann hire. That might be the only one that I'm cool with.
I agree with that. I mean, he got the most out of the squad. I guess I want to say that's probably, I don't have anything else to say about U.S. squad.
I do have something really quickly just to really highlight how important this appointment will be.
Give it to us.
With the 2026 World Cup, a host nation.
Host nation, yes. Let's hear it.
South Africa became the first host nation to fail to escape the group stage when they hosted the tournament in 2010. Will the U.S. become the second?
Oof. That's a great question, bro. So there's going to be 3. U.S., Mexico, Canada. CONCACAF nations, not great. Canada, I think, will get out from their I think they'll get out. They'll do all right. Mexico, on the border. They're borderline yes, borderline no.
Nice. A little bit of a pun in that.
Oh my God!
I see
oh
you.
my
God!
days!
I see you.
Boys, come
Okay,
on!
I
Now.
see you.
Come on!
He's a poet. He's a poet.
Not intentional. And I will also say U.S. borderline, yes or no. Like at this point, it's very borderline yes or no, depending on who we are. For years, it is a disgrace. It is so sad to me that that is our expectation, is just getting out of the group. No one cares about going further. It's all about getting out of the group. That's all we care about. We didn't even make the tournament, the World Cup.
Yeah.
They didn't even make
my gosh.
2018. Those are our standards. It's just to get there and get out of the group. That's what we accept. And there's no way this country should be able to, we should be able to do more.
That's not good enough.
No, absolutely not.
Bottom line. Okay, let's chat about some of the football action. I didn't catch any of the football. Obviously, Argentina's going to be playing Colombia in the final. What I did catch was Psycho Nunes taking a little sucker punch. What was going on there? Did you see this thing with the Uruguayan players going into the stands and the fight with Colombians, and they're saying, leave the families alone. People's families were getting hurt. What's going on?
I did catch the game, actually. I actually watched this one. Great game. Very end-to-end stuff. Colombia got the red card in the first half, which was absolutely a red card. Dude's stupid. I don't know what he was doing. Deserved red card. Slowed up the game in the second half, but it was open enough. It was enjoyable enough, I guess, as Copa standards come. But the end of the game stuff, I mean, I guess I have my own opinions, but I also know my Twitter X investigator Ron has seen all of the videos. So give me the take of some of the after dark action.
I've seen a lot of conflicting reports out there. Depends on who posted it and what nationality they are. The Colombians are saying that Uruguayans started it. The Uruguayans are saying that the Colombians started it. I mean, one thing that is certain is that the Uruguayans are the only ones that went up into the stands. And that's insane. That Uruguayan players cannot be doing that. I will agree. There was a lot of conversation about how maybe the United States didn't do a very good job with the security in the stadium. Part of my question with that as well is why are we not separating the countries like they do in the Premier League matches where, there's certain sections for certain groups, or even in the the cup final matches, there's also sections for certain groups as well.
They're doing that in the Euros. The Euros, you can tell that stadiums are separated between countries. 100%.
Exactly. And so you got to wonder if maybe the lights were a little bit too bright for the U.S. Soccer Foundation and whoever else put on this tournament, right?
Maybe that's the one thing. Is that one thing that America's doing right? Is that opposing fans and home fans can sit together versus everywhere else in the world? You cannot do that.
It's like, this is part of the metric system and we're just not having it. Like, no. We do our fans together.
Shout out
Thank
to
you.
us.
Sometimes you gotta think outside the box, dude. Shout out to Taco Bell. Not a sponsor of the pod. Listen.
It's outside the bun.
Oh, outside the bun? So,
the Uruguayan players, they were all claiming that their families were in danger. And, I mean, if that's what the case was, I understand why they go up into the stands. But, like, at the same time, as a professional, like, you have to know that that's just not the move, right? You have to let security kind of handle that. Because those idiots got probably exactly what they wanted, right? You know, regardless of who started it, the Colombian fans probably welcomed the Uruguayans coming in to the stands with them. Because, of course, they want to punch them. Of course, they want to do crazy stuff like that. They're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, who started it? Who finished it? We'll never know. This is not the only thing that the U.S. has been under scrutiny about. I heard the Uruguayan manager, Bielsa, had some things to say.
Ron sent us a link just before this. He's going off about the tournament, about a lot of things, a ton of things. But, I mean, it's fair. I think I said the Copa has been hard to watch, just in general. Like, and for Uruguay to be crying wolf is not. I mean, they should not be crying wolf. I've seen a couple of games now from them where they're the ones on the floor most of the game. But I mean, the refereeing in the Copa is just, people are, you get on the socials and it's becoming this thing where like it's rigged. There's powers at work there deciding what games should be. The refereeing is just awful. It's not fun to watch. When a team goes up 1-0 late in the second half or like in the 60th minute, it's like it's just weird. It's not been fun to watch. So to Bielsa's credit, maybe he's calling that out. He's a football purist, which I appreciate, but Uruguay is not innocent also.
I totally agree. The Uruguayans, like, have some shame, in kind of some of the things that are being said, because their performances on the pitch, outside of their actual like footballing acumen, disgraceful. Lack of sportsmanship, disgraceful. Play acting on the floor, disgraceful. I'm just not having it with these guys.
It goes both ways, dude. I think what you want to see is the rules enforced. What you want to see is an appropriate use of VAR, because you're calling out the Uruguayan players, but also I saw a clip of a Colombian player just punching Jimenez on Uruguay in the stomach on the corner. Why do we have all these cameras? I just don't get it.
You see it on camera. It's a weird thing in Copa of like this machismo attitude. But right next to it, like opposing it, is like that also this like flamboyant, like actor drama. It's so weird of like being tough, but also the least tough person there.
The thinnest line, dude.
It's Copa. Weird. It's very, like, DePaul is the perfect example. He is a hard guy for Argentina, known for like sticking up for Messi. You tackle him, you're probably going to get stuck from DePaul. But also DePaul is known for just flopping, fainting at everything. He gets touched, he goes down. It's like the flamboyancy of the game versus the toughness. The Copa is the reason they only put it on FS1. This is the perfect example of why Americans don't watch. Americans absolutely hate this type of play.
That's so true, dude. You're speaking facts right now, bro.
That's it. Like the average American about soccer is like, it's too soft. The Neymar. Oh, we hate Neymar. He's never actually fouled. He's always on the ground hurt, and then he gets right back up. Like, that's the sentiment of, like, I want to say 50%. People just don't like soccer in America. This is why. Because of, like, the way Copa is watched versus oh, the Euros are showed on Fox. It's a little different. Yes, there are teams like Spain. There are some teams. Portugal is kind of like that. There are teams that do this, but it's a different style. Copa is very over the top.
It does feel very exaggerated. So let me ask you this. Argentina, Colombia, feeling a lot better about Copa. We got both finalists on the pod, so put some respect on DGP's name.
I'm feeling crazy. I think I might just have to, the way Argentina have looked and everything. I'm going the wrong route. No, hell no. We going with Colombia. I think they win the final. I think they have the longest unbeaten streak in the world. I mean, someone fact check me on that. That might be wrong, but they do have a really long unbeaten streak.
Ain't nobody about to fact check you on the pod. You gotta let us know in the comments.
James looking good. I think the right back got a red card, but obviously he deserved it. So next man up, I'm going with Colombia.
Score prediction?
Argentina gonna get theirs. You know what? I'm gonna go Pens on this one. I'm assuming they get extra time for the final. They get the full 120. I'm gonna go Pens. Pens. Colombia.
Wow.
Colombia.
That's a good shot. I was gonna go Pens Colombia at 90. I didn't know that this one included 120. That has really changed my mind. So let me think about it.
1-1 at Pens for me. 1-1.
Okay. Let me think about it. Ron, what's your status?
I'm going with my pre-tournament pick. I'm a man of my word, like I said. I'm going Argentina 3-1 in 90 is what I had said, with Julian Alvarez to score.
Score all three.
I think it gets one. I think Messi gets one. I think DePaul gets one.
Disgusting.
Did you see his little video with him and his daughter, though? That was very cute.
No.
He walks into the middle of the pitch with one of his teammates, and he's doing like a little dance, and then the camera pans to his daughter, who's doing like the same dance in the stands, like way up there, and you can see that DePaul is like tearing up a little bit. It's actually a very sweet video.
That is really cool. All right, maybe we'll include the link in the bio. For me, I was gonna go Pens Colombia, thinking it ends in 90. Now that I know there's extra time, I think Argentina wins in extra time. I agree with you. I think it'll be 1-1 full time. And yeah, Argentina 2-1s it in overtime.
I will say both finals. You can go with your heart or you can go with your head. I'm going with my heart in both finals, bro. I'm going with my heart. I'm going for the underdog. Come on, Colombia. And come on, England. Let's go.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's really quickly close out with some transfer rumors that have been going around. Ron, why don't we start out with you? Is there anything from a Man City perspective that we should know about?
Sergio Gomez was sold for $10 million, so really no. There's not really much for you to know. Sergio Gomez didn't really play at all for us. So nothing on our front. There was a talks of Ederson and maybe De Bruyne going to Saudi, and now it looks like Ederson is not going to Saudi. So we'll see.
I have a question. Who is Sergio Gomez? What position did this man play?
He played left back.
Left back. And how many appearances did he make for you last season?
Like total?
Yeah,
or this season?
Last season. So the entire any competition like last season.
Sergio Gomez played left back. He also could play like left or right wing. That's where he plays for Spain, like when he played for the
left back or right wing. Interesting.
Yeah, he's left-footed,
okay.
So he likes to cut inside if he's on the right. This season he only had 6 appearances for us. Last season he had 12.
Weird. Okay.
On a quick search, it says that Gomez joined Man City from Anderlecht in a deal worth roughly 11 million in 2022. So after 2 years, you just sold him for 10. So
with a 30% sell-on clause.
And he's pretty young, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I was just asking, we've had some movement from younger folks in our squad. I always preface this is not a dig or anything. We're going to announce some announcements, and I was just measuring up basically what my own expectations are versus yours. I think that's, when you said 10 mil, I was like, my eyebrows raised, like, oh wow, that's decent from what I know we've done. And I'll throw it to you. Like, I feel good about the stuff we've done recently.
Yeah, but I mean, you're saying you just got 10 million for an outside back / winger who hasn't really featured for you in the last 2 years. And we just sold Micah Biereth for 4 million to an Austrian club.
Sturm Graz.
And he's a striker who had a very good season on loan. And he'll be back in the Champions League. That's exciting for him. That's a striker that we sold for 4 million. And I've seen a lot of the Arsenal narrative from our fan base being like, that's just not good business from Arsenal.
It is an interesting one. I think they added on, I think there was a sell-on clause for him.
Okay.
But yeah, 4 million. It's like great for a player that's never featured for us. Particularly, he's an academy guy. But to your sentiment, like, yeah, striker that he performed for Sturm Graz. I think he got production for them. It's like, that's such a commodity position. It's like your expectation is, what you're saying is, why didn't he ever feature for us, or why can't we hold on and potentially get more for him?
Yeah, I think my question is, why can't we get double digits for a striker?
Okay.
I'm looking at it from face value like that. Striker versus defender. Very good season on loan. Goal scorer goes for like 60% off versus that. Just feels like, what are we doing? That feels a little weird to me. Before we talk about some of the other Arsenal links here, I've also seen the KDB links to Saudi, and I am pretty intrigued by it. Are you feeling nervous about that at all, Ron?
I'm not feeling nervous as if I would have maybe a couple of years ago. I think, honestly, if Kevin were to leave, this might be the appropriate time for him to leave. He's getting up there in age. You could tell that in some of these games, his legs aren't what they used to be. He's still quality. He's still incredible. So I'm not talking down his ability by any means. But when it comes to like the physicality of some of these players, sometimes they just fall off a cliff. And so, if we can get a good fee for him, Kevin gets his bag, everything's all good. We'll give him a statue or something like that too. He deserves it. Like, this might be a good time for him to go. And we have plenty of center mids, and Phil Foden specifically, to play in the middle that will do his job in a different way, but I think just as good.
Okay, now let me back that up with another question, and I really don't mean this to be like gotcha or anything. Do you worry that selling him to a Saudi club for a substantial fee will feed some of the narrative that's already surrounding the club and its business model?
Do you think that my question is, do you think that this will push the needle for anybody? Like, I personally don't think so. Like, if you feel one way about City, you're going to still end up feeling the same way about City regardless of this sale going through or not. Because honestly, the sale itself makes sense even if City wasn't the seller, right? If he was coming from any other club at this stage of his career, I think a sale like this would make sense for a league that is trying to grow as much as it is.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting perspective, because I wonder how it, or what the fee would be if it's a different league, if it's a different destination for him. Would there be a fee for him? Would there even be offers for him with his salary requirements? But then at the same time, it's like, can you blame the club for taking the deal? I don't know. I don't feel like you can.
That's fair. You could, from one side, it's like dirty money is dirty money, right? It's gross. We hate it. But I guess Duran's perspective, right? Guy's aging. He might be... I don't want to play for another top club. I can't play for an AC Milan. I can't play for Barcelona, Real Madrid. I can't play for the Bayern Munich. Like, I'm done, right? I've played at the top and I'm ready to hit the next stage of my career. People move to MLS like that, right?
Yep.
I guess Saudi is now China was that for a while. Now it's Saudi, like premier players going to retire and still make good money, great money. That's why you're still going to make great money there. So I understand it. Dirty money is dirty money. Hate it. And that's why people are not going to like City still, but it's fair enough, right? In his perspective, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's a good footballing pod conversation. I respect it, dude. There's been some other links. The most recent one that has been surprising is Eddie Nketiah potentially moving to Marseille. I think that's a really good move for Eddie to go to a team in France.
I love that. You've seen Flo go over there. And also, he can be the backup to Aubameyang. Perfect for him. I mean, it's honestly written in the stars. So, he can... And in this case, I think he could back up Aubameyang for a year and then flourish to become... What I'm assuming Marseille would hope is that he becomes the guy during the season. Aubameyang falls off the cliff and becomes the guy, but we'll see.
I guess the question for Eddie is, do you want to go to a mid-table or a bottom half club in the Premier League, or do you want to go abroad and get a different experience in a totally different league? I don't even think any of his loan moves were in foreign countries. I think they were all in like English leagues.
Yeah, you're right. And maybe for us it's different, right? And I hate to be like, oh, if you were excellent at this game and you went overseas, but like, let's take Pulisic as an example. Weston McKennie, who's that dude that played Josh Sargent and Brendan Aronson? So like, let's take all those guys as examples. The English league, Premier League, doesn't seem to be the best place to play for us as Americans, but like, you want to do it, right? Like, I want to play at the top level, but also like Pulisic having a great performances at Milan, gonna play in the Champions League. Like, that's where you want to play, right? So as Eddie Nketiah, Marseille, I may be able to get to the Champions League and play at that level and still be able to be the man for my team. In another country, France, Marseille, not a bad place to be versus playing at Crystal Palace. I mean, I guess it comes down to personal preference, right? What do you value? Does he ever think he's going to get into the national team? No. I can't imagine being the top striker at Crystal Palace will do that for you. I.e. Ollie Watkins, the team that's fourth in the Prem.
Yeah.
That can't even get into the starting lineup or play any minutes in the Euro until the quarterfinal. So the semifinal. Yeah, if I'm Eddie, yeah, why not go play abroad, bro? Go live your life.
Go have some fun. And I heard Marseille's pretty nice.
Why not?
Why not, dude? That's kind of cool. If I were Eddie, I think I would be more inclined to move abroad.
I agree.
Let's stick with some other Arsenal rumors that are going around. Another big one is Tavares. Nuno Tavares to Lazio. Let me just say, when I think about Nuno Tavares, I think Arsenal versus Liverpool, Nuno at Anfield, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So I'm happy that we are looking to sell the player. I'm happy there are offers for him, and I hope he takes it.
It's almost like the best case situation for us. Bought a dude. Of course, we watched the comps. Guy got potential, right? He got stuff there. We played him. Not great. Loan him out. Did he do great on his loans? I think he did good at Marseille. Hint, hint, Eddie. Go ahead. Go on, son.
We've been doing some good business with Marseille, dude. There's something happening here.
He went out to the Prem. Again, didn't do great. But when Fabrizio comes on the timeline, bro, it's serious. I've said that before, so I'll go ahead and read Fabrizio's tweet here. Nuno Tavares to Lazio. Here we go. Verbal agreement on a contract for 5 years. Nuno will travel this weekend for his medical if all goes to plan. Formal documents to come. Arsenal to receive 9 million euros. This is loaned with mandatory buy clause plus sell-on clause. So we're putting them up for loan to buy, mandatory 9 mil. Not bad. I think that covers what we paid for him, plus a sell-on clause. I'm here for it.
Yeah, 9 million euros. That's what, like 7 million pounds, something like that. And I think we bought him in that same. I definitely bought him for under 10. So as far as incoming, outgoing that way, forget about the salary and all the costs that went into that. I'll take it for where we are. And it's interesting. The defender market seems to be a little hotter than the striker market.
That's funny. I mean, I'll take it. I think you had asked me before what I would take for Nuno. I think I threw out a pretty low number. So 9 is, I'm taking it and running.
Totally hear you, man. There's another one that seems to be solidifying, and it's Sambi. Lakanga to Sevilla. It looks like Arsenal have kind of bowed down to an option to buy instead of an obligation to buy. And Sevilla's going to cover his salary for a good 12-month loan. So that's a good 20 million or so off the books with just Tavares, Sambi, and Barrett.
I don't think I have a here we go on Sambi yet. I think it's just out there in the works. I don't know if it's official. I always gotta have a here we go. I gotta get Fab on the timeline. But you're right. I think they're looking to loan Sambi, cover his wages with an option to buy. But the option sounds like it's right around the region that we bought him for. So again, I think I would be good with that. If we're decided, which we are, in my opinion, we're decided he's not the guy for us. Let's recoup the funds. Why not? Let him do his thing. I think he's a good player. I think he has something in him, just maybe not for a top level Arsenal right now. But he can be a good player somewhere else.
Absolutely, dude. I wish Sambi all the best, and I hope there is a deal for him this summer because I want to see him play. I want to see him play somewhere else. That's the bottom line. The one transfer that really stalled this week was Calafiori. I mean, my goodness, dude. This is starting to feel like a real Arsenal transfer rumor, dude.
Calafiori.
It's
I got a goal.
The number of times...
Ferrari's in the garage.
The number of times that Arsenal get linked with a player, personal terms get agreed, and then this club lowballs the other club, and everything goes out the door. I hope it doesn't happen with this one, but it's starting to have those flavors.
You getting that stink in the air?
It's starting to smell, dude.
That's funny. It is. I think it's been clear from what we've seen. Like, they're asking for 50. I think we've offered 40 plus the add-ons. It's like, if you've agreed terms, if you want the guy, just go get him. Like, if you want him, go get him. Like, I understand playing the hardball stuff, but to Arsenal's point, it's like the guy, he's playing for Bologna. It's not if you want him, just go get him. And that's my opinion. Who am I to say what's the difference between 40 million and 50 million? I don't know, because I don't have $1 million. So, I can't talk that mess. But from a fan's perspective, it's like, come on and just go do it. A gabagool, man. A gabagool.
Let them know, dude. I'm with you, man. If the prices have been sounded out and it's not too extreme. Just get it over the line. Now is not the time to be tap dancing. Come on, man.
There you go. And we've talked right before the pod. It's like, what does he mean? Like, what does that change for us? Kiwior to me is like, you let him go. Do you ask for a top tier? This is such a great point here. And I want you to think about this one and tell me what you think honestly. We've had such a trouble getting rid of players. Like such trouble getting rid of players and not getting what we want and letting players stay that we don't need. If we bought this dude for 50, are you upset if we take 12 million for Kiwior instead of like the 18, 20 that Arsenal want? Like, you need the instant profit. You need the instant money for him. Like, do we keep him for 12? They're offering 12. We want 18. Guess what he's not going to do next season if Calafiori stays with us or plays for us? Kiwior's not going to play. He's not going to touch the grass. So do we sell him now for 12 or let him not play for us for a season and take whatever we can get, scrounge up the money for him next season?
Yeah, the link itself is really interesting. The implications of it for the squad, the implications for the rotations that will be happening. I mean, you're talking about Kiwior. I think Zinchenko is kind of on the selling block a little bit. Something has to give when you're bringing in a left-sided defender who can play center back, left back, and potentially center defensive mid. And it also begs the question of, what does it all mean for Big Gabby? I think it really brings up the question. And maybe I'll hold that piece for when it comes official. Because it's too early to talk about my dog Big Gabby like that.
I like that. Wait till we see Fab on the timeline. Yes, sir.
Let me see a good Photoshop, and then I'll make up my mind. For now, I want to thank everyone for spending time with us. If you like the podcast, do all the things you know we appreciate, and enjoy finals weekend.
Be easy.